It's extremely windy here in the hill country. We're gonna hang this New York strip whole. It's gonna be a challenge today, but we're gonna figure it out. Whole New York strip, vamos! So, we came today to film, and it's a huge wind. Actually, a tree fell over our house. So, wherever we get, it's gonna be super windy. So the only place in the whole property that we can cook is right behind the house. The house is blocking the wind. We're gonna cut the grass and we're gonna bring the Alamo. Open fire cooking, you have to deal with the elements, you have to deal with the wind, you always have to adapt. It's gonna be fun. Bye. We found the spot. Thank you, Angelito, to cutting the grass and making everything look better. I think it's gonna be a fun night. The neighbors are gonna be like, what the hell are these guys doing? Let's go. We have a beautiful whole New York roast. We bought it in Costco. And check this out, guys. I don't know what's happening with the Costco people. I already said it in videos before. Why? Why you trim like this? Why? For open fire, we need all the thick fat here, like this. But look at the knife. This is a guy that is very rushed to do his job. Slide the knife there, messed up the meat here, but it is what it is. Now we're gonna cook it and we're gonna hang it. I said this before, when you hang meat, it's a slow cook. It's not efficient if you think about how much wood you're gonna burn and you know how much calories are gonna spread out. Of all the fire, all the calories that you're generating, probably 10% of that, maybe 5% goes to cook the meat. In terms of fuel, in terms of firewood, charcoal, it's not the most efficient way to cook, but let me tell you, it's cool as hell. When we do events, all the people are like, you know, staring at that. It's gonna be fun. Talking about the piece of meat, this is a New York strip, a whole strip, as you can see. Decent marbling. Remember, I always said it doesn't have to be everything prime. This is pretty decent. So the way we're gonna cook it, that slow cook, you know, it's gonna be so tender. So it doesn't matter if it's prime, choice, or select. When you cook it super slow, you're gonna get to that point that it's gonna be tender and delicioso. That said, let's tie this thing up and we're gonna explain why we're gonna tie it up. Oh, one more thing. You see this big cordon? I don't know how we call it cordon. It's just a thick layer of fat. See all this part here? You can take that off. You know, actually when we do events, we take them off because it's gonna cook faster and more efficient, and then when you serve it, it's gonna be more round. There's no need for us to trim it or to take it away because we're not in a rush here. And remember, you always can take it later. So that way, if you cook it with that, it's gonna add flavor, and also when you cut it, you're gonna take advantage and take all the meat possible. If I cut it now, I'm gonna probably take a lot of meat that we can eat. I need that fat. I need this fat to cook. I like this. I don't like that. I don't like that. But that's because the worker was, I don't know, not having a good day. He sliced more than. Stop talking, let's start cooking. When we cook this style, we're dealing with gravity. Gravity is gonna like, right? If we hang it, when it start cooking, it's not gonna look good and it's gonna not cook even. Remember the same problem men after 40 have with the gravity. That makes sense? I'm not gonna go into details, but that makes sense? Gravity pulls everything down, right? You know, Ben, right? You know what I'm talking, see? See? So we're gonna tie. Angelito, everybody. We introduced Angelito in this video. He cut the grass, he got everything ready. Good job, Angelito, with that. Okay, like I always said, we are not butchers here, don't judge. Well, yeah, judge, comment something if you want. We love to hear your comments, man. We don't have a lot of haters, actually, right? Right, Ben? No. We do, but not a lot. We need more, man. I love haters. No, I have to say something, dude. My YouTube community, this is awesome, man. They're like, everybody's so supportive. YouTube is the best, man, honestly. People like actually engage with you. They like, you know, they comment, they participate, they recommend stuff. Whenever we cook and it's a fail, they suggest okay, you should do this next time. I love YouTube, man, honestly. Of course you have haters, but that's life. Okay, ready, guys? See how beautiful it is now? See, it's gonna cook like that. Okay, now time to season. We're gonna go and get some rosemary from my garden. That sounded. Let's go some. Let's get some rosemary from my garden. Let's go. Okay, guys, we're on the way to get some rosemary. But check this out. This is one of the branches that fell down last night. Thank God it didn't do any damage. Let's go. Fresh rosemary, I always say it. Rosemary and beef goes so good together. We're not gonna use a binder because, see, it's already sweating because we pulled it out a while ago. So we're gonna go and we're gonna put a decent amount coarse salt and pepper. Remember, my salt and pepper is coursed. It's 16 mesh pepper and sea salt. Perfect size for cooking open fire. Like I always said, you can use it on anything. For open fire, it's perfect because it's not gonna burn. This side, I don't mind. I'm not gonna season because the way we're gonna cook this is we're gonna hang hang it, and that thick layer of fat is gonna protect the meat from drying out. Like I always said, and I'm gonna keep explaining because I don't know, maybe this is your first video that I watch it. When you cook open fire, even if it's indirect or like with the radiant heat, the heat only comes from one side. It's not convection, it's not enclosed. So you have to be able to cook to the inside of this roast with one source of heat that is under. The question is, how are you gonna cook the inside of this roast without drying and overcooking the first layer? That's why we need the fat. That's why we're gonna start cooking in the fat. The fat is not gonna only protect the meat from drying out, it's gonna add a lot of flavor, tenderness. I don't know about this wind. See, we still have a strong wind, but it's incredible how we block it with the house. It still is gonna be a challenge to cook. I think normally this kind of cook is gonna take 4 hours. From that 4 hours, 3 hours, or maybe more, it's gonna cook on the fat side. So that's why I don't season there, because whatever I'm gonna season there is gonna drip down and it's not necessary. You can if you want, I don't do it. Season ready, now the rosemary. Rosemary for my garden, rosemary from my garden. And again, this is gonna, I don't know, if we have a chef watching this, maybe they can explain this or correct me, but one thing is flavor, another thing is aroma. That makes sense, man?
Yeah, that makes sense.
For example, what I think the rosemary adds to this roast is gonna be aroma. How you feel the aroma? When you bite it, right? When you bite it, then you feel the aroma. It's not the taste, it's the feel the herb, and then you feel it before you taste the meat. For me, that's aroma. Maybe I'm saying something stupid, I don't know. If you're a chef, correct me if I'm wrong. You feel free to hate. Okay guys, we're ready, and maybe you ask yourself why I didn't start the fire before like we normally do. It's because when you cook this style, hanging or even asador style, you can cook as soon as you start your fire because you don't have to wait for those embers to be done. Just your fire is done, that's when you start cooking. Alright, vamos, time to hang. So for this, I want to go in below the string, but just in case, grab a piece of meat too, right? Have a nice chunk of meat. You never know if the string is gonna burn during the cook. It shouldn't, but you know. Look at that. See? How you like that? So now we need to figure out the level we're gonna cook on. I'm thinking, Ben, that we're gonna cook it this high. So now I'm not feeling anything, but because the fire is not built yet. So I think we're gonna start there and see how it develops. Okay, vamos. The neighbor is looking. How are you? In 4 hours we're gonna eat, okay? Prepare the salad. Okay guys, so nothing, I don't feel nothing. But again, this fire is not built yet. So let's wait here and see what happened and then we adapt. And then for the sides, we're gonna do rustic veggies. We have some squash, we have some beets and maybe some potato. But we're gonna do it rustic. We're gonna put it all in the grill like that. We're gonna get creative. Let's go, let's have fun, baby. Let's have fun, vamos. See the wind? I'm telling you, man, the wind is hopeful. Woo! So we're gonna cook the veggies super slow. We're gonna start putting here. Remember, we have like a 4-hour cook, so I want to this start getting to temperature. Whoa, dude! See the wind, how it's bringing me the flame here? Whoa! All right, I think I'm gonna hang these ones. How you feel if we hang it?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Whoa! That fire, man, is all over the place. We're not in a fire hazard, nothing like that, because it's very green and humid here, but just in case, I sent Angelito to see if that hose works, just in case. We're 20 minutes in and the wind doesn't stop. I thought we were more protected here, but see, fire now is doing good, but all the wind is blowing all the flames there. So we need to adapt. We're gonna lower up a little bit with one hook. But see what I mean about open fire cooking. You plan a strategy and right away, 20 minutes later, you have to adapt. You have to change your strategy. So that's what we did. We also moved the fire from the middle to here so we can, you know, kind of like have the wind. So we take advantage more of this heat. And now we're gonna have this situation. When the wind is blowing, it's good, but when the wind is not blowing, it's gonna be too much fire for that. So again, we had to stay here, keep an eye on it. Like I always said, open fire is different. Smoking, you can't leave your grill. You have to stay on top and see what's happening. If the wind completely stops, that's a lot of fire for that. Also, so much wind, you know, we're gonna burn a lot more wood. So maybe in 20 minutes and 30 minutes, we have to add more wood. Stay on top of your cook, okay? You can't leave. That doesn't mean that you have to be stressed out about it. Enjoy. We're about to open a beer now. We're here outside enjoying, you know, except the wind, but the weather is perfect. We're having a big piece of meat cooking. How can be better than this? You can't. So vamos. Let's keep cooking. Vamos. Okay, Angelito, be careful, okay? Cut first the parts that yeah, the one that can push you down, okay? Hey, Angelito. Yeah. Good job, boss. We're gonna check the fire over there, okay? In Argentina, okay, my followers that are from Argentina, or maybe every Spanish, they are gonna understand this. Vamos a hacer leña del árbol caído, okay? So we're gonna make firewood out of this. Hey, only for Spanish speakers. Ready? We got distracted with the tree over there, so kind of our fire died, but doesn't matter. It's gonna get back up soon. I like what this is looking. Check this out. It's less than 1 hour in. We got distracted. The wind's still blowing. Not as bad as before, but we need to rebuild this fire. We're gonna cut that wood over there, and maybe we can use all that wood to finish this cook. What do you think? Vamos a hacer leña del árbol caído. So Ben here is asking me what does it mean, and we've been talking about that saying for the past 15 minutes. I have no way I can explain that in English how it means. So let's ask my good friend AI. Hey, can you explain in English what the saying hacer leña del árbol caído means?
Of course. The saying hacer leña del árbol caído literally translates to making firewood from a fallen tree. Figuratively, it means taking advantage of someone who is already in a vulnerable, weakened state. In other words, it's about criticizing or attacking someone who is already down or struggling instead of helping or showing compassion. It's generally seen as an unfair or opportunistic behavior.
You got it now? I don't know what that has to do with the video, but yeah. Again, guys, we have a nice, fresh, dry firewood to use. That tree was dead for a while now, so okay. I like what I'm seeing here, guys. Okay, guys, we're in the 2-hour mark. I like what I'm seeing now. We're gonna flip it a little bit. Check the veggies. You know, they're cooking slowly. The radiant heat is cooking it. 1/4 rotation to everything. And let me think about it. All right, I know what to do. Okay, we're gonna start flipping it, huh? But check this out. Remember that pig, el cordon, we talk about this part of the fat, right? That's a lot of fat. There's barely no meat here. So we're gonna put it in that side. I want the heat over there. So 1/4 rotation, and from now on, every 30 minutes, we're gonna do a 1/4 rotation. See? Look at that. What do you think about that? You like it? ¿Te gusta? Eh? Boom and boom. Okay, now we're gonna do another 30 minutes in this side, and then another 30 minutes in this side, and then another 30 minutes. That's gonna be 3.5 hours, and then we're gonna be ready. Let's keep cooking, baby. Another 30 minutes, and we're gonna do another 4th turn, okay? Now the opposite side. Now we're gonna heat this part here. Ready, guys? Wah, 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 wah. Okay, so another 30 minutes, then we're gonna flip it. Maybe less than 30 minutes, and we're ready to move on to the next step. Stay, because you're gonna love the next step. It involves bourbon and fire. Stay there, don't move. Okay, guys, last flip, and we're almost done. Remember, always grabbing some meat there. Ready? Wait, see, look. See what just happened here? Look, it's tender or what? Damn, it's tender. That's the place where the guy trimmed the fat excessively. Remember? I told you. We have a decent heat now, and the wind stops a little bit. We still have it, but I'm gonna say another 20 minutes, man, and we're ready for the next step. Don't move. You're gonna like it. Vamos. Look, remember, we're gonna use thermometers. So we're ready at 100, and now we can do 2 things. We can leave it hanging for another probably 30-40 minutes until it reaches 135 and it's ready to eat. Or we can do what we do in the events, that is cool, and also for me adds more crust and more flavor. So now that it's close to 105, 110, now we're gonna pull them out. We're gonna let it rest for a while, and then we're gonna sear them. We're gonna cut it in 2 intakes, and we're gonna sear them, and it's gonna be amazing. And then I'm gonna explain why this technique, both are valued, but I'm gonna explain why this technique I think is better. Dale. So let's wait another 5 minutes, pull it when it reaches 110. So the veggies, remember, they've been cooking for 3 hours now. How do you know they're ready? You grab a skewer and you see how easy it is. So once the skewer goes in easy, that means it's done. Look at that. All right, we're very close. Now let's start warming up the plancha. You know what a plancha is? Griddle. Yes, let's do it. Okay, now we're gonna pull it out, pull it off. Let's let it rest for, let me say, 15 minutes while we warm this up, okay? Remember what I said, it's not gonna be done. Maybe people eat it like that, I don't mind. Oof, cuts like butter. But again, some people can eat it like that. So we're gonna cut it 2-inch steaks. See this part? When I wanna show you how the fat protected the meat. Dry it a little bit here because it's not perfect, but see, we create a seal and we cook it all the way. So now we're gonna season it. We're gonna season a little bit, just a little bit. Texas SP, just to add to the crust. Okay, are we ready? I said, are we ready? Vamos. Okay guys, why I like this technique and why I cook it this way. What is the process behind this? Because some people said, if you're gonna do steaks, why don't you cut it and do steaks straight out? Because when you slow cook a piece of meat for 3 hours, what you do is like you basically, it makes so tender. It's like you're gonna eat meat marshmallow. Think about this. This is a dead muscle. It's so relaxed. When you expose it to heat, it's gonna contract, right? But if you take that piece of meat, the same piece of meat, slowly taking it to temp, you're gonna cook it, but it's gonna be tense. So it's gonna be so tender. And why we do the searing? Because the crust is the flavor. Crust is flavor, right? Check this out. All that is flavor. So when you do that, you get the tenderness, the meaty, the part inside, but also you got the crust, the caramelization, the Maillard process, whatever they call it. Okay, so the plancha, one of the things is the plancha has to be extremely hot. Remember, the plancha you cook with flames. So if you want to have, like now, I want more flame in my plancha, right? So this is a technique that you can use. You get all the oil and all the fat here, and then you put it back down here. And you're gonna create, for 1 minute, 2 minutes, you're gonna create like a nice flame. And then you touch it, right? It's still medium all the time. Are you guys ready for the final touch? Vamos, this is the final touch. This is gonna add that kick of nice bourbon. Ready? Vamos. One for the chef, huh? So you saw that it was like 3 minutes aside, no more than that. We just want the crust, they're already cooked. So we're gonna take it to the table. We're gonna take it inside and to plate, okay? Vamos. We have 3 beautiful steaks. We have more to do, but for now, this is good. I'm gonna pour myself a nice bourbon to go with the steak. Nothing beats steak and bourbon. For now, I'm gonna show you how these are cooked. We're gonna do the infamous steak tower. So, are you ready? It looks pretty good. I like it a little bit on the rare side, but I can live with this. This was an absolute awesome cook. It got some problematic, right? We got to deal with the wind and the firewood and everything, but stop talking and let's try this baby, okay? So we got, with this technique, we had a little bit of crust, a little bit of meat, and a little bit of fat. So when you cook it like this and you cut it like this, you have everything in every single bite of the whole roast. Dale, vamos. It's hot. It was on. Me quemé el culo. Ay. Okay guys, I hope you liked this video. It was something different, but I hope you enjoy it. And you know, if you like this kind of content, follow me, because I was checking the insights of my channel and only 70% of people that watch my videos are non-followers. So click that follow button. That's gonna help us a lot. Leave a comment, subscribe. Come on guys, let's eat something. Salud, Al Frugoni out. Vamos a comer.